I had the pleasure of working on the website design for the Volunteer Center of Racine County, and it was a really great experience, and I want to share that with you. So, pretty much, I had this opportunity because Kelly Fergasi reached out to me. We had connected over Facebook, and we connected over shared values, and we had this great opportunity to be able to take the next step in actually helping the Volunteer Center, is what she leads as the executive director, improve the website design that they have for the site. And so the current site looks something like this. So the issue with the site in particular was that it had a real struggle when it came to the breakdowns of where all the drop downs were. It had a bunch of sites. A lot of them were really expansive. And so she didn't like just kind of the layout. It wasn't really helpful with, right now they were kind of band-aiding it with being able to put graphics on here to explain what their events are, which look very nice. But of course, they're not responsive and difficult on a web page. So it was a kind of a band-aid at the time. And then they realized there needed to be more. They had quite a lot of different things on here, staff profiles, which is great, and specifically what they do, like My Ride, which is really great. That helps give rides for seniors for free if you're in the Racine area, which is this great opportunity. And so we wanted to bring it up a notch. So that was great. So Kelly and I, we met for coffee and tried to figure out exactly what that would look like. And we started in on a strategy. And so as we started to collect this strategy, it was really made up of a few different things. Number one, what is exactly the functional intention you needed? What platform was it going to be on? Right now they had Squarespace. Typically I only design on Wix now, but we decided to work with Squarespace at the time, one of my earlier builds. And so the timeline was they needed to launch in a specific area. Thankfully, that wasn't really a hard line. They had a lot of interesting things that they were developing throughout the summer. And so it actually took place over the course of about 6 months, 6 to 8 months. And so as we were looking through the audiences, that's the key here. The audience that you want to talk to is ultimately the most important thing. And so figuring exactly who those people are, what motivates them, and in particular for your relevance, what is the thing you want them to take action about, that's the most important thing to start thinking about. And so we started coming up with some ideas, also some design inspirations. And typically that's when I have any of my clients do is pick 3 to 4 different sites that you can use as an example, so that there is a great influence. If it could be in the top of your industry, it could be another site that you really like to take in some inspiration off of. And so that really helps in the early design process. So we also want, one of the biggest things is making sure that your vision, mission, and values are really well developed. Because if they are, they make for the greatest focus of your messaging. And if they are kind of if you feel like there's something missing with it, there's something needs a little more or a refresh, this is a great opportunity to do that, because it really becomes the center point of the messaging that you use. And so they really liked the current vision, mission, and values that they had, so we didn't really develop much of that. So then the brand messaging really took on the next step as we went and actually designed the website itself. So the first thing I actually did was take all the copy from the original site. So I literally just took this original site and I extracted all that web copy into a single document, and that helped me give some inspiration and some direction for the kind of things that we're looking for and the structure of the site. So then we also created our own version of the website structure, and that was from the home page on, we wanted to create a sitemap of everything that was there. Today I do a lot of this more visually on a Canva template, but this was a good way of using it at the time, was just through Google Docs. And everyone had this access in the organization and could help specifically with the sections that were relevant to them. And that was really great. So we took a concerted amount of time to focus on exactly what we wanted to say, who wanted to say it, how many places. Generally try to stay, and I helped give them a little bit of guidance with how much content per section, and then they were able to do that. So this is actually a good portion of the early process in building a website. There's a lot involved, so you have to set aside enough time to do that. I recommend, in particular for this segment, at least a month just for this particular segmentation of the design process. So then we get into the actual designing and actually building. And so that has multiple parts. And so one of the things that you'd notice if you go back to this site is there really isn't a lot of video. And there's almost no video that explains who they are and what they're about. So that was something that I in particular wanted to bring to the table that I could help with. So here is our new site, the hero section. Here is the messaging that came through in some of our discussions. Be a blessing to your neighbors. They really wanted to highlight making sure that you have this button here that helps send you to the volunteer opportunities section and calls that to action. So I put that there in the hero and in the header here. We have a nice layout here, differently than before. We condensed a 18-page site to 10 and made them even more specific. We made sure we highlighted all of their sponsors that give generously and continuously to funds what they do in the community. And so we wanted to make sure they got top billing on the site. And so that was one of the main design constraints that I was given. And then I wanted to come up with a specific featured video that could be played that really explains what the Volunteer Center can help you, where you can participate, and how the Volunteer Center brings to the table. And so this is a video interview that I shot with them at the Volunteer Center of Racine, and kind of having them explain who they are, what they're about, how the programs that they offer benefit people in the community, and just touching on how you could actually be this meet this need in our community. So and this was a kind of a section that helps explain what's important to these people, to the people that they're talking to, their audience. Have an opportunity to cultivate community and responsibility, build your portfolio, and stay active and engaged are three important things. Ways to call to action to specific programs that they offer, the Youth Volunteer Corps being something of an emphasis at the time especially. My Ride is one of their great services, and so we're going to take a look at that in a second. And testimonial section, very important. These are going to continue to grow. And then their calendar. And so right now they don't have any calendar events displayed. So here's the default template that I was able to use. And so you can see really nice layout. You click on this and it opens up this nice explanation and nice map here. With a nice photo, really great little plugin from Elf Site, and so that worked really nicely. Highly recommend that as well if you're going to use that. And then frequently asked questions and things like that. So if we go back to, in particular, My Ride, here's what one of the pages look like. This is such a great service, the opportunity to serve the community in this regard by volunteering your time to drive people to their very older people in particular, but anybody really who would need a ride. It's targeted at seniors, 55 or older, who can no longer drive themselves. That's who we're targeting. And so I did a little video explaining the specific program in detail, frequently asked questions, especially if you're going to be a driver, then it gives you even more specific information if you're going to be a driver that could help. I also put the captions on there so it was nice and easy. Again, a little optimized for the audience that this serves, some FAQs as well. So this is a really fun site to work on. I felt it actually turned out quite nicely. I don't typically build on Squarespace, but this one actually I think works quite well. I'm sure we'll continue to update this as we go, and so it will continue to improve. As well as always, room for improvement for everybody. But this was a good opportunity. And so if you have a website in mind, if you have a website and you'd like to really refresh that, I would highly encourage you. It is the cornerstone of your visual, of your digital presence online. And so think of it as a physical property. And so this is an opportunity for you to really be focused on how you can serve your customers in particular or clientele and call them to action in a way that really brings them out to what you need. And so this is my website to explain what it is that I do. You can visit this at storyscapedesign.com. And that will allow you to see exactly how I can help you. I also do logo design as well. So if you need a logo refresh, that's something as well as I do. My pricing is available on this site, a little about my background, and you can get a custom quote here as well, just go ahead and fill this out and we can get in touch. And I would love to have a conversation with you. If, by the way, one last parting gift, if you see a website as you're going through your daily life and you're finding something and this website is absolutely terrible, please come back to my site and nominate that website right here. You click this button and nominate that brand for a refresh. You just drop the link right here. You tell me how you found it, what's your relationship to this, and a little disclosure thing saying, hey, you're just being nice and you're not trying to deceive anybody in this submission just for legal compliance. And you just put your name and your email, and then boom, and then I have an opportunity to reach out to those people and help them as well. And it's an opportunity. They actually get a 30% discount if you recommend them that way. So please, if you do have the opportunity if you need a site yourself, or if you see someone else with needing a site, let them know about me. I would love to help them out. Nonprofit, for-profit, whatever it is. My goal is to help industry pioneers do the greatest work they can so that we make our country and our world better.